What's up, guys? This is Michael Anderson here, and this is the very first video of my YouTube channel. A little background on this channel: I'm going to be posting some videos on A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, predictions, theories, reviews. Going to be posting some on the Wheel of Time series, so if you're a fan of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, please stop back by and check out some of those videos when I get them up. I'm going to be posting a lot about pro wrestling, past, present, and future. So if you are a fan of pro wrestling, stop back by and check some of those out too. The first video I'm going to make here and talk about is a prediction slash theory video on whether there is a spy in Dany's war council or her camp. I believe that based on what we've seen lately, there is no way the Lannisters could have gained the upper hand that they've had on Dany without there being a spy. I think that Jamie is not smart enough to outmaneuver Tyrion the way he has, and that there must be somebody giving them information. And I think, given the people there and the way Varys has behaved in the show and the books, he is definitely the #1 candidate for this. Book Varys and show Varys are alike in a lot of ways, how they act, their character traits, but the one big difference in the books and the show is that in the books, and spoiler alert here, if you haven't read all the books, this is gonna be a little bit important there. Varys supports Aegon, or young Griff, Fagon, whatever you want to call him. That's the main difference. He does not support Dany in the books. He and Illyrio sold Dany to Khal Drogo with no idea that she would hatch 3 dragons, take over Slaver's Bay, or any of the events that happened there. Because of this, it makes a lot of sense to me that Varys is not on Dany's side, just how he's not on Dany's side in the books. In the books, all the moves that Varys has made were to destabilize the realm so that Aegon and the Golden Company could ride in on a white horse and be the savior of the day. Varys ends up admitting all of this to Kevan Lannister right when he crossbows him in the stomach and tells him that Aegon's going to be a king of the people. He has felt hunger. He has felt thirst. He has worked hard. He is going to be somebody who empathizes with the common folk. And all of this leads Varys to sow chaos and discord between all the other factions in Westeros. This is his main goal, is to break down the realm so that Aegon can save the realm. But in the show, we don't even have the character of Aegon. And probably never will. We have no Arianne Martell to join him, and it looks like her character's been given over to Ellaria Sand to take the vengeance plotline for Dorne. So where does Varys' loyalty lie? Is it with Dany, or is it with someone we don't even know about? Or did the show just take the Aegon plot and just completely switch him with Dany? It seems to me that Varys' blind devotion to Dany that he's showing these past few episodes just is too much of a change from the character we've seen leading up to Season 7. Varys has always been plotting and scheming behind the scenes, and that's why he's called the Spider. That's where his whole nickname comes from. He's the Master of Whispers. He has the information network that is unparalleled. Varys got his start in Essos when he joined a mummer's troop. He became a master of disguise and deception. And next he had his little blood magic, red priest, sorcerer situation where he was made a eunuch and the guy cut him off root and stem and threw his junk in the brazier. And he told Tyrion about that. At that point, he vowed to live to spite the sorcerer who had done that to him. Because of that, he became a thief and became very skilled in stealing stuff, but he runs into Illyrio Mopatis, and they create a thievery conspiracy to where Varys would steal the things and Illyrio would get paid to go take the things back for these people. And they did pretty well with that, but they eventually realized that the secrets were much more valuable than the goods, and that they could steal secrets and make a whole much more money, and that the power they would gain by knowing the secret thoughts of the high and mighty in Essos definitely became more valuable than any sort of goods they would come across. Because of this, Varys starts his network of little mice, which are similar to the little birds. I don't know if they had their tongues cut off or not, but he taught them how to read, taught them how to write, and taught them how to sneak around and steal ledgers, steal bank statements, all the important secretive information. And when Illyrio and Varys moved to the intelligence network business, they become even more powerful in Essos. So much so that the Mad King Aerys II hears about Varys' skills and has him come over to be his Master of Whisperers. I just don't see Varys all of a sudden stopping that just because he has found Dany and she's this honorable queen and he has no ulterior motives anymore. He has just thrown his lot in her 100%. I think he's betraying Dany to Jamie and Cersei. Whether he's doing this because he has completely turned his cloak to the Lannisters or whether he has another motive. I believe he has ulterior motives than just trying to help Dany here. I think there is no way Jamie would not know that Dany would attack King's Landing. There's no way that they would know she wouldn't do that. She does not. Cersei and Jamie do not know anything about Dany. There is no indication that she would not, take straight off from Dragonstone and rain fire and blood onto King's Landing while marching the Unsullied and the Dothraki right to the gates of the Red Keep and feed Cersei to Drogon. They don't know anything about her. They don't know that she's going to have compassion for the common people and not want innocent lives lost. For all they know, she's the Mad King 2.0, queen, the Mad Queen, Aerys II, come again. So there's no reason for them to think that she would be any different from her father. And for Jamie to pull all the troops out of Casterly Rock, except for a shell force, pull all the troops out of King's Landing, take them to Highgarden to perform a reversed Whispering Wood, it's leaving King's Landing way too vulnerable. The only way Jamie's going to have the confidence to do something like this is if he had 100% information that Tyrion is going to Casterly Rock to go through the sewers in order to take that castle. There is no reason that they would know anything else. There's no way that he would just all of a sudden think that Tyrion would do that when the major threat is Daenerys with 3 dragons, horde of Dothraki, army of Unsullied coming to attack King's Landing. The only person that knows that Tyrion is going to attack Casterly Rock first and has the capability of getting that information to Cersei and Jamie is Varys. With his network of little birds, he can quickly get all these plans back to the Lannisters, quicker than a raven probably, and with no evidence. He has the perfect opportunity to undermine these attacks that Dany is getting ready to give to the Lannisters. And the whole issue with the Greyjoy fleet being completely decimated by Euron's army is kind of on the same lines. You've got a pretty big ocean out there, and for Euron to know exactly where Yara and Theon are at and be able to completely sneak up on them just seems a little unbelievable to me. I think there's definitely some special information going to the other side, and I think Varys is the number one suspect in this. It makes more sense to me than the alternative that Jamie just knows Tyrion's mind so well that he can plot out all of Tyrion's every military move. It just seems illogical that, he knows how Tyrion thinks, but he doesn't know how Dany thinks or anything about Dany. Cersie and Jamie are not that skilled. You know, Jamie's a great warrior and a smart guy, but he's not this smart to completely figure out the opposition's every move. You know, Varys, I think his intentions are going to be shown pretty soon. He will turn his cloak on Dany and Tyrion because Varys has been manipulating Tyrion this entire story, especially with the death of Tywin. Varys set it up perfectly so that Tyrion would be placed in a strategic location when he came to rescue Tyrion and would have ample time and access to go to Tywin's chambers and murder him before he could be found. The one thing in all this that makes me think Varys planned that as well is that there is a crossbow hung on a wall right above a chest, which is the perfect scenario for Tyrion to reach the crossbow. It was almost that someone pushed the chest up against the wall so that a short dwarf-sized person could get up there and take the crossbow. I think Varys is going to continue to manipulate Tyrion until Tyrion sees what's going on. He will either cause Tyrion's downfall, or Tyrion will see what's happening and betray Varys before he can himself be taken down. Varys may have a whole nother side that we don't even know about. He may not be fighting for Jamie and Cersei. He may just be trying to sabotage the entire realm, like he's doing in the books, for an outside force to come in. I think that's a little less likely. They've probably just completely slipped him over to Jamie and Cersei, because the show's not as complex sometimes as some of these book plot lines can be. But hell, for all we know, in the last episode of this season, Aegon Targaryen could come rolling in with Arianne Martell by his side and storm King's Landing with Lady Stoneheart leading the freaking vanguard, for all we know. So, but I doubt that's going to happen either. But that's all I've got on this topic. I definitely think Varys is betraying Dany as we speak, and will continue to do so until he is either killed or found out and then killed. And I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite Game of Thrones channels. Definitely love the Don Tony Teflon. He's got some great stuff out here. The Small Council with James Johnson, that's a really good one. You should check it out. The Small Council with LaDonna, James, T-Baby, Nico, Charlie in Westeros, Maester Payne. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. Tony's on that too, so check that out. Everybody keep up the good work. And until next time, I will see you guys later.